Hello, it's Mохand Karem Mohammed Mohani from group P154. I will show you today my task for the practical class 3. So first,
we should create our tasks. First, create a new scenes in the Unity and name it practice 3, and create a new folder for scripts and name it script 3, and create a new folder for prefabs and name it prefabs, and create a new folder too for materials and name it materials. So here I created the materials folder, prefabs folder, script 3 folder, and if we go into scenes we can find here practice 3 scene. Let's start with our work on our scripts. So the work with scripts. First script is a script transformations. So here this script includes 4 functions. Every function works with an arrow on our keyboard, like the button for up and down, right and left. So this script should work by pressing an arrow key in our keyboard. So let's start with the transformation. This is the script. First, we identified the public float speed. So we identified the speed. And here we can change it later in the Unity. Next, there is our code in VIE update, so it will be called once per frame. And here's the code. First we get the key, like the input key we press to make the function work. So here key code is up arrow. So up arrow here is the up key. Left arrow is the left arrow key, right arrow is the right arrow key, and down arrow is the down arrow key in our keyboard. So this script means if we press this key, so make this function work. So here, if we press arrow key, it will transform position of the vector 3 by these dimensions. And here, if we input or press the left arrow key, it will transform the position. And we choose our speed in the top area in the public float. Then, if we press right arrow, it will transform or translate the speed by this. So it will transform our object. And here, if we press the last key is the down arrow key, it will rotate the object with this speed. So let's check our script. I attached it to the cube and selected this speed here. So let's start playing our scene. So playing our scene here. So when you press arrow key, up arrow, it moves up. If you press down arrow, it will transform it. And if we press the right key, it will transform it to the right side with rotation. And if we place the left key, it will transform it to the another side with the rotation. And if we change it here, our speed, like to 0.9, from 0.01 to 0.09, and check it again, it will move faster. Here and here. And now let's check the second script, the script prefabs work. So here, we should create a prefabs of the sphere with the color and rig body component. And then we should instantiate the sphere by clicking the left mouse button. So here, if we go to the prefabs, I made the sphere, and rig body here is use gravity to make it drop down by the gravity effect, natural gravity effect. And next, let's check our code. So in this code, we identified the public game object to the sphere object, and we could change our public game object or our dropping game object in the Unity. And here's our code, and also in the VIE update, because we need it to be updated every frame. And then if our input is the get mouse button down, number 0 here means the left button in C#. So here, if we press the left click button, it will instantiate our sphere object and transform its position and make it drop down. So let's try it here. I attached it to the cube and selected our object as a sphere object here. So now it will drop our object with every click. And now let's check our next script, the random objects. It's the same of perhaps work, but in this time we not selecting one object, but here it's random object too. So we will select multi objects and make it drop down by random. So we didn't select the sequence of dropping object. And also it will instantiate the random sphere. That's what I called. But in this time using the right click button. So let's check our script. Here, we identified the game object as objects, because here we will select multi-objects. And here, if our input is get mouse button down, number one here means the right button. So it will select random object and make it drop down by transform position to the down using natural rig body gravity. So here, we created multi-objects and all used rig body and selected using gravity as true. Let's check our script, and here our objects is identified as 3 objects. If we need to add more, we can select 4 or 5 or 6, and a list here will change it with the numbers of objects we selected in the upper area. So here, let's try our code. So right now, if we press right button, it will random select an object and make it drop down. And now let's go to the next script. The script is called calling functions. So in this script, we should initiate the game object once with the use of function invoke, and then initiate the game object repeatedly with the use of function invoke repeating, and then stop initiating a process of invoke repeating with cancel invoke by clicking the wheel mouse button. So here, we should first make a function invoke. So we should make our game object dropped one time, and then make this scene repeated using the function invoke repeating, and after that we should cancel the function of repeating by clicking the wheel mouse button to make the cancel invoke active, so it will stop dropping our object. Let's check it on our script here. So here we identified the public game object here as object, so we can select in the Unity our object we needed to drop, and here in the VID start, that's called before the first frame update, so we don't need it to be updated by every frame, the invoke repeating function. So the invoke repeating function here identified in our script that will make our object repeated. And here, if we input the get mouse number 2, it will cancel invoke. So if we pressed our wheel mouse here identified by 2, it will cancel our function here, the repeating function. And we identified the repeating function here, the new function here, as initiate object transform position quaternion identified. So quaternion identity, and we here identified our new function as the dropping object, as make the object transform to drop object. So let's check here our code. Attach it to the cube 2 and selected the sphere as an object to be dropped down using gravity, and let's check. Here we played our scene. When you click the right mouse button, will drop our sphere repeatedly until we press the wheel mouse button one click to cancel it. And now let's check the final script. The script is from screen to world. So in this script, we should initiate a prefab on the scene in the place of the mouse button click. So it should make our game object pop up from the place we put the mouse in the screen of the scene. So let's check our code. In our code here, we identified the game object, the public object here, as sphere, and we can change it in our Unity menu, script menu. And here we need it in VID update, so with every click we need the script to run. And here, if the input mouse is 0, here identified as the left mouse button, it will print input mouse position and will make vector 3 position equal input position. So we'll make our object show from the position of our mouse. And here we identified our camera position, and here we'll make the object instantiate script to make it pop up. And let's check our script. I attach our script to the cube and make it on. So here, when we played our scene, it will start pushing the game object from any area we pressed our mouse in.
And thank you for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.